Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and if you are new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because today, we are diving into something that affects millions of people around the world, and that is why we feel tired all the time, like not just tired at the end of a long day, but that constant draining exhaustion that never seems to go away no matter how much you sleep. And if you are someone who wakes up tired, stays tired all day, and goes to bed tired only to repeat the cycle again tomorrow, then this video is for you because we are going to explore all the reasons why chronic fatigue has become such a widespread problem and what you can actually do about it. So let us jump right in. The first and most obvious culprit is sleep quality and quantity, because even though you might think you are getting enough sleep, the reality is that most people are either not sleeping long enough or not sleeping deeply enough to get true restoration, and adults need between 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night, but quality is just as important as quantity. Because you can spend 9 hours in bed, but if you're tossing and turning, waking up frequently, dealing with sleep apnea, or spending too much time in light sleep rather than deep restorative sleep, then you are not actually getting the rest your body needs. And factors that disrupt sleep quality include sleeping in a room that is too warm or too bright, using screens right before bed, consuming caffeine or alcohol too close to bedtime, having an irregular sleep schedule, stress and anxiety, racing thoughts, and underlying sleep disorders like sleep apnea, restless leg syndrome, or insomnia, and all of these things can leave you feeling exhausted even after spending plenty of time in bed. Poor nutrition is another massive factor in chronic fatigue, because your body is literally made from and powered by the food you eat, and if you are not giving your body the right nutrients, it simply cannot produce energy efficiently. And the modern diet, full of processed foods, refined sugars, simple carbohydrates, and lacking in essential nutrients, creates a perfect storm for constant fatigue, because when you eat high sugar and high carb foods, you get a quick spike in blood sugar and energy, followed by a crash that leaves you feeling even more tired than before. And if you are not getting enough protein, healthy fats, B vitamins, iron, magnesium, vitamin D, and other essential nutrients, your cells cannot produce ATP, which is the energy currency of your body, and you will feel tired no matter how much you rest. And many people are walking around with subclinical deficiencies in key nutrients without even knowing it, because they have never had comprehensive blood work done, or because they assume fatigue is just normal. Dehydration is one of the most underestimated causes of fatigue, because even mild dehydration can cause significant drops in energy levels, cognitive function, and physical performance. And most people are chronically mildly dehydrated without realizing it, because they do not drink enough water throughout the day, or because they consume a lot of caffeine and alcohol, which are both diuretics that cause you to lose water, and your brain is about 73% water, so when you are dehydrated, your brain cannot function optimally, and you feel foggy, tired, and sluggish. And the solution is simple but often overlooked, which is to drink more water throughout the day, aiming for at least 8 glasses and more if you are active or in a hot climate. Chronic stress is probably the single biggest contributor to feeling tired all the time, because when you are under constant stress, your body is continuously producing cortisol and adrenaline to keep you in fight or flight mode, and this state of hyperarousal is incredibly taxing on your system, and over time, it leads to adrenal fatigue, or what is more accurately called HPA axis dysfunction, where your stress response system becomes dysregulated and can no longer produce the hormones you need in the right amounts at the right times, and this leaves you feeling wired and tired at the same time, where you are exhausted, but you cannot relax or sleep properly. And chronic stress also depletes your body of important nutrients, affects your digestion, impairs your immune function, and keeps your nervous system in a state of constant activation, which is absolutely exhausting. Sedentary lifestyle and lack of physical movement might seem counterintuitive, but sitting all day actually makes you more tired, not less, because your body is designed to move, and when you do not move regularly, your circulation slows down, your muscles weaken, your mitochondria, which are the energy-producing parts of your cells, become less efficient, and your overall energy production decreases, and people who exercise regularly, even just moderate activity, like walking consistently, report having more energy throughout the day compared to people who are sedentary, and this is because physical activity improves circulation, increases oxygen flow to your brain, stimulates the production of energizing neurotransmitters, and actually increases the number and efficiency of your mitochondria, so you produce more energy. And while it might feel like the last thing you want to do when you are tired, movement is actually one of the most effective ways to increase your energy levels. Mental and emotional exhaustion is just as draining as physical exhaustion, but it often goes unrecognized because we tend to only think of tiredness in physical terms, but your brain uses an enormous amount of energy, accounting for about 20% of your total energy expenditure, even though it only makes up about 2% of your body weight. So if you spend all day thinking, problem solving, making decisions, managing emotions, dealing with difficult people or situations, and processing information, you can end up completely mentally exhausted, even if you did not do any physical labor. And this cognitive fatigue is real and valid, and it needs to be addressed with mental rest, which might include meditation, quiet time in nature, limiting information consumption, and doing activities that do not require active thinking. Depression is a major cause of chronic fatigue because one of the hallmark symptoms of depression is persistent tiredness and lack of energy, and this is not just feeling sad, it is a physiological condition that affects neurotransmitter levels, brain chemistry, and your entire body system. And people with depression often describe feeling heavy, like everything takes enormous effort, and even after sleeping for long periods, they still wake up exhausted. And if you have been feeling persistently tired along with other symptoms like low mood, loss of interest in things you used to enjoy, changes in appetite, feelings of hopelessness or worthlessness, then it is really important to talk to a mental health professional, because depression is treatable and addressing it can dramatically improve your energy levels. Thyroid problems, particularly hypothyroidism, which is an underactive thyroid, are incredibly common, especially in women, and one of the primary symptoms is crushing fatigue. Because your thyroid hormones regulate your metabolism and energy production, and when your thyroid is not producing enough hormones, your entire system slows down and you feel tired, cold, foggy, and sluggish. And the tricky thing is that thyroid problems often develop gradually, so people assume their fatigue is just from being busy or getting older, when actually they have a treatable medical condition. And a simple blood test can check your thyroid function, and if it is low, thyroid medication can make a huge difference in your energy levels. Anemia, which is a deficiency in red blood cells or hemoglobin, means your blood cannot carry enough oxygen to your tissues and organs, and without adequate oxygen, your cells cannot produce energy efficiently, and you feel constantly tired, weak, and short of breath. And anemia can be caused by iron deficiency, vitamin B12 deficiency, folate deficiency, chronic disease, or blood loss, and it is particularly common in women who have heavy menstrual periods, vegetarians and vegans who might not get enough iron or B12 from their diet, and people with digestive issues that affect nutrient absorption. And like thyroid problems, anemia can be diagnosed with a simple blood test and treated with supplements or dietary changes. Chronic inflammation is increasingly recognized as a major contributor to fatigue, because when your immune system is constantly activated, fighting off perceived threats, whether from poor diet, environmental toxins, chronic infections, autoimmune conditions, or stress, it uses enormous amounts of energy and releases inflammatory chemicals called cytokines that make you feel tired and achy, like you have the flu, and conditions like autoimmune diseases, chronic pain syndromes, fibromyalgia, and long COVID all involve chronic inflammation and persistent fatigue. And reducing inflammation through diet, lifestyle changes, stress management, and medical treatment when necessary can significantly improve energy levels. Poor gut health is another often overlooked cause of fatigue, because your gut is where you absorb nutrients, produce neurotransmitters, house most of your immune system, and communicate with your brain through the gut-brain axis. And when your gut is not functioning well, due to imbalanced gut bacteria, leaky gut food sensitivities, or digestive disorders, you cannot absorb nutrients properly. You produce less serotonin and other important chemicals, and you experience more inflammation, all of which contribute to fatigue and improving gut health through probiotics fermented foods. Eliminating trigger foods, reducing stress, and eating more fiber can have surprising positive effects on energy levels. Technology overload and constant stimulation from screens, social media, news, and notifications is mentally and emotionally draining because our brains are not designed to process the constant flood of information and stimulation that modern technology provides. And when we are always on, always connected, always consuming content, we never give our brains a chance to truly rest and restore, and this leads to a kind of mental exhaustion that no amount of physical rest can fix, and the blue light from screens also disrupts our circadian rhythms and melatonin production, making it harder to sleep well, which creates another layer of fatigue. Lack of purpose, meaning, and joy in daily life can also manifest as chronic fatigue, because when we're engaged in work and activities that feel meaningful and aligned with our values, we have more energy and resilience. But when we feel stuck in unfulfilling jobs or routines that drain us without giving anything back, we can develop a kind of existential fatigue, where everything feels heavy and effortful. And while this is not a medical condition in the traditional sense, it is a real experience that affects energy levels and overall well-being, and addressing it might mean making changes to bring more purpose, fulfillment, and joy into your life. Hormonal imbalances beyond just thyroid, including issues with cortisol, testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, and insulin, can all cause fatigue, because hormones regulate virtually every system in your body, including energy production, mood, sleep, and metabolism, and imbalances can occur due to stress, aging, medical conditions, medications, or lifestyle factors. And getting comprehensive hormone testing can identify imbalances that might be contributing to your fatigue. Medications and substances, including prescription medications, over-the-counter drugs, alcohol, caffeine, and even some supplements, can cause or contribute to fatigue, either as a direct side effect or because they interfere with sleep or other body processes. And if you started feeling more tired after beginning a new medication, it is worth talking to your doctor about alternatives. And while caffeine seems like it gives you energy, it actually creates dependence. And when it wears off, you crash, and if you are relying on caffeine to function, you might actually have more energy. If you gradually reduce your intake and allow your natural energy systems to recover. So what can you actually do about chronic fatigue? Well, the first step is to identify the root causes by paying attention to your patterns, getting proper medical testing, including thyroid function complete, blood count, vitamin levels, and hormone panels, and being honest about your lifestyle habits. And then you can address the specific issues, whether that is improving sleep, hygiene, eating a more nutrient-dense diet, drinking more water, moving your body regularly, managing stress through meditation or therapy, treating underlying medical conditions, reducing screen time, creating better boundaries at work, simplifying your life, eliminating energy drains, and making time for rest and activities that genuinely restore you. And it is important to know that fixing chronic fatigue usually requires addressing multiple factors simultaneously, because it is rarely caused by just one thing, and you might not see improvement overnight, but with consistent attention to the root causes, most people can dramatically improve their energy levels over time. The key is to stop accepting chronic fatigue as normal or inevitable, and instead to treat it as important information that something in your life or your health needs attention, because you deserve to feel energized and vital and alive, not just dragging yourself through each day. And with the right approach, you can absolutely reclaim your energy and your life. So there you have it, a comprehensive look at why we feel tired all the time and what we can actually do about it. And I hope this video has given you some insights and some actionable steps you can take to start feeling better. And if you found this helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more health and wellness content. And let me know in the comments what you think is the biggest contributor to your fatigue and what has helped you, because I would love to hear your experiences and we can all learn from each other. And remember, fatigue is not something you just have to live with. It is a signal that deserves attention, and with the right support you can feel so much better. So take care of yourselves, prioritize your health and energy, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye everyone.